Well, hello, thieves, and welcome to another fun-filled Friday as we decide whether or not this is an age undreamed of or a nightmare yet unsung. As we look around here to our current group of thieves, they are in the thick of it, as thieves are often wont to be. But let's go around and talk to everybody, see who they're playing, see how they're feeling about today. We will start from the top and work with Jim. Jim, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm fighting off a bit of a cold, but right now I'd rather be fighting off a bunch of mercenaries as we attempt to rescue these hapless and helpless nobles in this field right here. So I'm ready to get to it.
Absolutely. Let's see what we can do as we drop down now to my man Slack. Slack, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I think the Greyhawk channel might not be real happy with me, but I'm doing okay.
Excellent. I am so stoked to be here once again as we launch into glorious melee combat. I once again will be piloting a character called the Mighty Schwa. He is 4 feet tall, doesn't wear a shirt, has an awesome bone necklace, but most importantly, wields a spear, possibly forged by the might and magic of ancient dwarves. Excited to be here.
Fantastic. And we will drop down to the ever so humble, ever so pious Pal in the corner. Steve, how are you doing? And happy belated birthday, my friend, as the player of Pal got 1 year older yesterday.
Thank you, sir. I've discovered that old age is, I'm starting to remember walking 15 feet and 15 miles in the snow with no shoes on and all that. And fiber pills are essential, but I still feel young at heart. I appreciate it. I love playing video games, love playing role-playing games, and I can still drink copious amounts of alcohol. So I'm feeling good. I play Pal, and he's ready to rock and roll. Hopefully, we can have a little bit of mayhem here today.
Awesome. And as you are checking all the boxes for what it means to be youthful with the video games and copious amounts of alcohol, let's jump over to Cap. Cap, how are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad myself. I've been a bit under the weather my two, but I'm ready to do this. I'm not ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to stop, drop, and roll in terms of decapitation and heads, so that the bodies and the heads hit the floor.
Nice. As everybody can sing along to that, as we drop down to the last of our thieves today. Lauren, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm always doing great when I'm here. Hi. Yeah, everything's normal. I'm Lauren. I'm Not Salty Ginger. Today I'm playing Cinna, Archer Girl. Not on the run from anything, totally chill as a cucumber.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a second. As we go around and we recap what happened with our thieves in the last adventure that they had, they were conscripted by one of the barons of Gunderland to go north, presumably to free, save, or otherwise escort his family south. And unfortunately, he picked the White Company to go first to escort his family, and it seems that they had other plans. Also, to make matters even worse, as is the wont of Robert E. Howard's Conan series, there is an out-of-control wildfire that is rushing across the northern area of Aquilonia, where we currently are. And as the thieves rode north, they encountered a fallen wagon, presumably the transportation of the family as they were heading south from the northernmost fort. There they fought two bears. Pal did not fare as well against the bears as he might have hoped. Everybody else, though, made quick work of the primitive beasts as they were being driven by the blaze that was descending upon the area. And speaking of that blaze, it quickly rushed through the space, the thieves narrowly escaping to a mountain gorge up ahead to the north. But as they proceeded a little further, they found that in the tracks that they were following, provided by their own horseman, Arik, they came upon a very similar scene to the one they had just left. Instead of a downed wagon in the grass, there was a family, presumably the family they were sent to find, as a woman of noble bearing and 2 children were tied and gagged and blindfolded together in the middle of a field. As is the wont of any adventurers in this system or any other, they started talking about what they were going to do. And while they were planning and talking, and as more information was gathered by trips by Pal down towards the valley floor, an arrow flew out of the forest, sunk deep into the little boy's calf, in which he began to scream and writhe in his restraints, prompting action from the thieves. To point everybody in the right direction with the theater of the mind, soon to be aided by an actual battle map. Don't judge me, it's not great. We currently have, if you are looking from south to north, from south is the position where everybody came in, and currently it houses Conan and Cinna, as Cinna is looking down upon the area with her arrows. To the west, and trying to sneak behind the arrow or the archers, is Pal, as he has slipped into the shadows. To the right or to the east, still on horseback, we have Arik, the horseman, and we have Artigan, the old warrior. And riding in the middle of goddamn everything, with his spear swinging above his head and screaming to any god that will listen, is the mighty Schwa. And as this both planned and prescribed chaos and order begin to descend among the thieves' ranks and presumably those of the enemy, we look back to Cinna, who is greeted with a unfortunately familiar voice. As creeping from the shadows of the woods, she hears the voice of her former master, Karis. "You finally come back." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to begin this session of Conan Age Undreamed Of. Now, I'm going to give you the following information, thieves, as this is something that would kind of happen simultaneously. Arik and Artigan, as you are both seated in the woods, you can hear without the need of a roll the sound of rushing water behind you, which would be further to the east. So you can hear it. You're not sure how far back it is, but there's definitely water there. All of a sudden, a line of fire erupts from the southern end of the area, cutting off Conan and cutting off Cinna, as this line hits the very bottom of the valley, presumably to bar your escape. As you are very seasoned and veteran warriors, especially Artigan, you would realize this is not just a line of maybe oiled ground, as it is glowing a greenish blue, and you immediately realize this is some type of Keshan fire. This is something that if it gets on you or your horse, it will burn until it's consumed. It is nasty, nasty stuff. And as you see that spring up to the side, the family in the field continues to writhe as you can kind of hear the muffled comfort attempts as the mom realizes her son is terribly wounded. And as we go through this, I will tell you all, current fortune numbers are as stand. Cinna has 3, Artigan has 1, the mighty Schwa has 2, Pal has 3, and Arik has 2. You have a full complement of momentum of 6. I have 7 doom, and we are going to begin. Anybody wishing to help the people that you see before you, you can look straight down. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy some Conan Age Undreamed Of violence. Welcome to Friday. I'm going to start with the mighty Schwa. Schwa, where are you riding?
All right, well, I am riding directly towards the hostages, one of which has been wounded. And in last week's episode, Schwa took out a bear, a giant prehistoric grizzly with a spear. So he is 100% full battle rage right now. He is feeling it. He has a head wound from said bear, and there's some blood dripping down the side of his face. He is standing on the back of his horse with the reins in the left hand and his spear, spinning it mightily and yelling a battle roar. as he rockets towards the hostages. Now, my intent is to close that distance as fast as possible and position the horse between the archers and the hostages to use the body of the horse as a shield, blocking them from being hit by further arrows.
Okay, so you're riding in, creating the human shield, creating a distraction. I will let you know this, as I drop 3 doom from my counter, a volley of arrows rain out from the woods as you see not 1, not 2, but 6 arrows fly towards you, and we will roll this.
That's a lot of arrows, Greg.
That's a ton of arrows coming at you. The good news is that one of them rolled a critical failure, which would result in you guys getting momentum. But as you guys are already stacked with momentum, I'm going to take away one of the shots, because that is only fair. So, yeah, as we do this, let's go 1, 2, 3. And the first one, left arm, doesn't hit. Second one, left arm again. Hits for 1 point of damage. So you get, as arrows graze both the left arm and left leg, you get 2 points of damage, which is interesting because that is the exact direction that you are riding if you were using to parallel yourselves, as once again we always say, the dice tell the story. So the left-hand side of Schwa is nicked by 2 arrows as you ride forward. Make an animal handling check as your steed, while it's responding to you now, you are going to, it just had a lot of arrows whiz by it, and you are electing to put it down as a human shield. Now, it's not that smart, but let's make that animal handling check just to see.
All right, that sounds great. Can I use some of the momentum to add dice to that?
Absolutely. As long as the party says it's cool, you have 6 in which to do so.
Do it.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty stocked up now, so I'm going to use a couple. Make sure this pulls off. This is going to set us up nicely, if that's all right with everybody.
And how many would you like to use, sir?
I used 2 on the roll. Did that come through?
Yes, it did. Let me take them off the overlay. Okay, so you got 0 successes with it. We're going to say that I'm going to put a pause in that right now, as you didn't critically fail anything, and there isn't a complication that's erupted from this, but you're able to basically put the horse where you want it, and you can slide off of it if you're looking to jump down and like begin to help you were electing to try to free them, correct? You're going to try to...
That's right. I'm going to slide off the horse now and try to get them free and stabilized.
Okay, so as you do so, as you kind of slide off the horse stays where you left it for now. And we're going to say you drop and begin to kind of cut away at some of the bonds that are around. Who are you going for first? The mom?
I'm going for the child that was just wounded first.
Okay, so you're going after the boy. You can now see that the arrow has gone completely through his small calf. He's writhing in pain, and as soon as he feels you feel him kind of stop and flinch, and it's as if he's pulling away from your grip. He stops struggling, though, as soon as he feels kind of the saw of your blade as you're taking off the ropes, or going to take off the ropes. We're going to leave Schwa there as we jump over to... let me make sure I got Schwa down as my number 1 cat. We're going to cut over to Pal. Pal, as you see the fire kind of erupt behind you in a line through the forest, immediately catching some of the closer trees on fire, you hear the twang of bow shots. And give me a... Let's see, what do I want you to give me? Yeah, give me an observation check, and we're going to see if you can pick up exactly...
Nope.
Okay, so you hear the activation or the stringing and the expulsion of bow shot from ahead of you. And you're not sure exactly where it is, though, but you can kind of vaguely make out that they are indeed firing on somebody. You can only assume it is one of your friends.
Okay, can I check? Pa's probably mumbling to himself. I knew we should have left this fucking place. Should I check for thievery for chats? Maybe they're expecting somebody to come behind them.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, that's 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes also reward you an additional momentum, as you guys currently have 5. I'll be adjusting on the overlay, so ask me if you need to. That way I can not have to stop and do it over on Roll20 as well. I'll do it when I get a chance. So currently with 5 momentum back, you're able to look, and you do see, strung in a half-moon pattern between several trees, a clear, almost translucent bit of twine. And you can see that housed on each of the blind sides of the tree is what looks like an animal bell of some kind.
Okay. Can he slip by that? And he wants to find the position of these people, and as quietly as possible. He figures as they start shooting, they'll reveal themselves more. And he wants to, and once shit gets going, he'll accelerate. But at this point, he wants to stay complete. He wants to do, like I said before, he wants to do like a Metal Gear Solid. He wants to kill as many without being known as possible.
Gotcha.
And I'll use fortune if that's necessary.
Yeah, I will. If you want to spend a fortune point right here, I will give you maximum benefit for what you need.
Yeah.
Is that what you'd like to do?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so let me. That's not you. I'll get it in a sec. Boom. Okay, so with a fortune roll down, and you recognized and identified that there is in fact a trap laid here, you kind of realize that they wouldn't put themselves too far away from some type of an alert of this nature. You're able to creep forward, and at the end of your turn, you move around as you see kind of a thicket that is barring some of your view, and there are 2 what look like Shemite archers who have all of their arrows stuck in the ground in front of them, and they are restringing their bows, these great long curved long bows, as they have a perfect window into the field. You can see that they've cut brush to kind of keep themselves concealed, add to the thicket behind them, but also give themselves a window directly into the area, like a pie slice of where the family was stationed as bait. And I'll go ahead and give you this since you spent fortune. You can see Schwa jump off and slide off of his horse as he gets there just in time, and you realize that the arrows that went forward were aimed at him.
Where did that bag go? Where the pal's looking for the bag? Where's the bag of money?
I believe Cinna still has it, doesn't she?
No, she gave.
No, I gave it to Schwa.
Yeah.
Then it is currently in the
rubies for the ransom, right?
It's currently in the middle of the battlefield.
Okay.
The perfect place for a bag of rubies. Okay, so Pal, as you are done here, I'm going to go ahead and take this as we send it over to Arik. And I'm going to ask both Arik and Artigan to do the following for me. Make me an observation check, please.
None. 0 for Arik.
Okay, so Arik, you're going to act before any type of information is given to you from Artigan, as he did in fact roll with a complication, so that's going to get interesting real quick. Arik, what would you like to do as you see Schwa kind of just hell-bent, right out there screaming, spear circling above his head, and you immediately see what he's doing as he drops the horse between the sources of the volleys and the hostages.
There's no enemies visible, right? Like we can kind of see where the arrows are coming from, but not enough to see the archers.
Correct, and they are pretty far away from you guys. As and as you scan around, you don't notice anybody else as you cast your. But it's heavily wooded around this area, and you yourselves are on horseback and hidden. So
right.
You know it could be
How
done.
far away? The fire's pretty. Isn't like right on top of us either, yet. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Arik is waiting to see. He's waiting for a moment where if he either needs to ride out to provide cover for someone, he can, like maybe after Schwa has started to make his way back, or if Artigan heads out, Arik will sort of ride in support of him. But otherwise, he's waiting for an enemy to see to spring into action.
Okay, so we can have you hold your action then. If the Artigan rides out, you're going to ride with him, which would be a move. And then if you see an enemy, you will attack. Artigan, you succeeded as we jump over to you with an observation, but also a complication. Here's the following. You're able to look around, and as you do so, maybe it's the glint of armor, maybe it's the campaigns that you fought, having to make sure you yourself in heavy armor, you take precautions to kind of keep yourself quiet, to keep your armor dulled whenever you're fighting in the daytime. And even though the White Company, the best of the best, the sun, nature, and especially fire that just springs up out of nowhere, tend to kind of tip the hand of even the most prepared veteran. And as you look around the battlefield, you see the following. Off to your immediate right, maybe 30, 40 feet away, there are 4 riders, equally concealed in the bushes. You are unaware of your presence. To your left, you must have passed directly past these people on your descent. In a cove of trees are 2 additional riders, all of them wearing the standards of the White Company. None of them seem to be aware of your presence. Until, as your complication arises, your horse takes an errant shift just to kind of move beneath your weight, hits a dry twig, and causes an audible and very profound snap to echo in your side of everything. You see the 2 riders that are closest to you on your left spin and look in your direction, and you match eyes with them. What would you like to do?
Now, quick mechanical question first. In this game, you have something called renown, correct? You have a sort of like a ranking of renown.
Correct. We have not used it yet, as it is something that takes place more over a campaign basis as you grow in your abilities.
Okay, so what I'm after is, because I have a standing of 1, what does that mean? And this could determine what I'm going to do.
Normally, if you have some type of renown, in a very generic sense, renown is the ability to be known for either good or bad deeds among a particular party in which you are addressing that renown. If you're choosing to do so against the White Company, I will let you know that they have protections in place against renown, as they themselves have a pretty solid ranking, as do their commanders. So if it's going down to that, it's something that you wouldn't be able to gain a benefit from, as far as if you wanted to like steely gaze them and let them, oh my god, it's Artigan. That's not going to affect them as much as it would others, maybe lesser companies. It's something that could definitely affect them.
Okay, it's simple then. I will just say to Arik, actually, very, very calmly. So it's basically 2 to the left, 2 to the right, and I see the fire.
2 to the left, 4 to the right. The 4 on the right have not noticed you.
So it's the ones on the left. Okay. I turn and say to Arik, looking at the fire as well. 2 to the left, 4 to the right on this side. This is a pincer trap. And I'm just going to look over to those boys. Just going to draw my sword, and I'm going to go over then to them, and I'm just going to look him in my eye. And what was the name of their leader again? I may know this as I made the lore check last week. Would I know his name?
Sorry, I was muted. You guys know that, clowns to the left of us, jokers to the right. You would know that they have several different lieutenants and commanders. The person that works in this area, you can see that they have a distinction on the White Company outfit among their standards. I tell you what, if you want to make a roll for me here, I'll give you a free roll to see if you can figure out whose exact company this might be. As Artigan alone would be able to, because of his time in the mercenary companies and in Aquilonia, would be able to. Let's go with a
If it's cool with people, can I spend 1 fortune point, please, just to add to the roll?
Momentum.
Cool, not
You can-
fortune. Momentum. Yes, I beg your pardon.
Yep. Let's go with
Law again?
I will give you lore, or I will give you warfare, just because this pertains to a specific niche of knowledge. So
They're both the same for me. So
okay.
Same roll. Here we go. 1.
Okay, you see immediately as you look at it that this is not somebody that you know by what would be considered their birth name, but you know that the woman that commands this particular white company's name is Lady Rent, as in ripping or to tear asunder.
Right. So basically, I say that to Arik, and then I'm just gonna draw my sword, and I'm gonna go over to those 2 waiting archers, and I'm going to say to them,
Oh, these are not archers. These men that are
Oh.
these are mounted knights, and there's 2 to the left and 4 to the right.
yeah. So I'm just gonna go over to them, and I'm gonna say, you won't be scared, but you know who I am. Send Rent my regards in the next life. And I'm just gonna slash one of them.
Okay, so you're are you going to wheel your horse around to do so, or are you jumping off and kind of clearing the brush as quick?
Well, they're on horseback, aren't they?
They are.
It's gonna be horse on horse action. Wait, you know what I mean by that.
I gotcha. I'm with you in any respect. So as you charge in, you are able to then take a swipe at the first one that you see. Go right ahead, and we will get this party started.
Okay. All right. These are heavily armored guys. With party permission, I'd like to spend 1 more momentum, please, for another dice. Cool. Thank you. So 3d20. 2 successes.
Okay, with 2 successes, you can immediately put one of those momentum back, or you can add 1 damage to it, or you can spend it on an additional attack.
Let's see. Let's have a look. Got the momentum up here. I am actually. Let's see. What's a break? I will actually use it for bonus damage.
Okay, it'll give you 1 bonus damage to whatever you roll, and let's go ahead and roll that out as you strike the first one.
So 1 modifier to damage then?
Yeah, or we can do it afterwards. We'll just add 1 to whatever happens. Yep.
Okay, I'll just flat 0 and add 1. So, not my best hit, so 3.
Okay, so with 3, as you come forward and you slash across, you're able to kind of take the rider on the right hip and up and down the right thigh as the white company member immediately kind of rings about and wheels the horse around. I'm going to have him make a... Oh, and as the horse rears up into the air, bucking him off as the horse itself took a little bit of that damage, you have now taken one of the mounts away, as there is a couple 100 pounds of horse flesh that is shocked and moving around in the area. It's no good for anybody right there, but it's certainly no good for the rider who was just thrown to the ground. So you have come over and hit him and taken him off his mount. So... And I believe that as soon as Arik was made aware of that, he would have the option to do something, as he had a held action.
Right. So Argan whispers this to Arik as before he rides off after these, and seeing this fight that goes on, Arik wants to just keep his horse still. Can I make a shot at the other horse and rider that Argan's facing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, then I'd like to do that, and I'm aiming specifically for the horse, because I'm going to make these heavily armored guys walk around in all this smoke and fire.
Okay.
And so that's what I am going for. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Here. That's all right, I got 2 for that one.
Okay, so once again, you have the option of an additional attack. You can add to damage, or you can go ahead and roll damage and see what you do, as you're going to definitely hit this horse.
I think I'm going to add to damage, because I have volley with my Although I didn't get a critical, that's what activates the volley, right?
Right, an
Never
effect will activate the volley as...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
add to
you-
damage then.
Okay, so go ahead and roll them, and if you can get an effect here, you will add to volley anyway. So it might be something to... We'll cue the damage up.
Really? Okay. One plus an effect.
Yep.
Yep. There we go. Plus
So...
whatever the extra is, yeah.
Yep, your effect triggers volley, which gives you another attack. As the first one, the arrow sinks into the horse. We will see how this gentleman does. He is able to keep his horse under control as he kind of wheels it about. Same thing as before, Jim. You have the ability to either add to damage or cap that momentum back into the pool for everybody else.
I'll add the momentum back into the pool and not take the extra damage. And so here's my damage. Ooh, 2 plus an effect. For my
Okay,
second.
2. Yep, and as volley has already gone off, you're able to plump it in there, and we will make this DC more difficult. As, nope, he is able to wheel this horse around. It still has 2 arrows sticking out of its kind of right side. He's able to move it, and with that success, he gets a doom point for me, but he also is able to get the horse away from the other spinning horse. So you guys are engaged with the 2 on the side. At this point, you have kind of turned your back on the 4 that are behind you as we kick it over to Cinna. Cinna, you do not see the person who has just spoken to you, but you know the voice. Mm-hmm. And for everybody else, why don't you tell us who that person is?
So Cinna, who's definitely not on the run from anything, never done a bad thing in her life, very innocent, was a former slave in Zamora, and the merchant who owned her is Karis, who she escaped from, and his group in, and that's how she ended up in Aquilonia, where she presumably met everyone else. This is probably gonna be real bad. This is gonna be real bad. I'm very scared. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, well, Conan's standing beside you as the fire rushes and kind of separates you from the group. You do have the way that you entered to escape from, and as you're sitting there, Conan turns and who's that? He has Torg's sword in his hand as he's turning and looking around, kind of spinning and unsure of exactly which direction the sound, the voice came from.
Do I know the direction it came from?
Yeah, it came from the east.
Cool. And the fire's to the south?
It's right beside you to the west, and we'll be going over in a second to take a look at that, yeah.
Do I have a path back toward anybody besides Schwa?
You don't have a path towards anybody.
Oh, cool. Tight. Okay, so Cinna is looking rapidly around the entire circle and is trying to whisper as much as she can to Conan. Conan, you remember the first lesson I gave you?
Yes. And kids, I will send you over to the battle map now to make this a little bit easier for everybody.
Cool. Well, I see. Cool. That is a merchant. You remember what merchant means?
Yes, I know what the merchant is.
No, it means asshole. You should really check the first page of your notes. I know it was 3 years ago, but I thought it was a really good lesson.
You didn't tell me it was your definition of merchant.
Yes, I did. I specifically did. If you didn't write it down, that's your fault. Check the first page of your notes when we get out of here, okay? And stay close to me.
Is this the conversation we should be having right now? Okay.
I'm looking around while I talk. I can multitask. I don't know about you.
I cannot. I'm a teenager.
She's shaking a little because she can't see him right now and she doesn't know what to do with the energy. So I'm just looking and.
Okay.
But yep.
Roll an observation check for me.
Okay. 1, and I can re-roll the second one, so I'll do that. See if I can get
go right
2.
ahead.
No. Okay, so just the 1 success.
Okay, so with the success, as you look up, you can't identify exactly where it's coming from, like pinpoint it for a shot, but you can tell that it's probably about 10, 20 feet in front of you as you notice a slight shift in the trees as you're pretty sure you know where it is. If you wanted to take a shot, I would allow you to do so, but it's going to take at least 2 successes to have any type of...
Yeah. Yeah, we are going to do that. That seems like a good idea to do. Cool. Yes. Sweet. Yep. Okay. Pew pew. Oh, and I get my extra thing. That's right. Okay.
Jesus.
Mario.
Okay. You have 2 more successes than what you need there. And what'll end up happening here is with this first shot as it goes through, you reveal Karis's location as he steps out of the foliage and you see a sword whip across as he takes the arrow out of the air and deflects it to the ground as he begins to walk toward you.
Ah, shooting him again.
Go right ahead. Okay, and I will let you know that with those other momentum, you guys are maxed out again as Senna continues to roll ridiculous momentum fields. So with those 2, you are able to shoot and you hit again. I am spending a point of doom as you see again, bing, the sword spins and takes the arrow out of the air.
That's annoying. Well, screw you. I will spend momentum and I'll do another standard action. I'm going to shoot you again.
Go for it.
Cool. It's very frustrating.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so the momentum is still...
hit.
Right. Well, yeah, it's coming right now.
I will spend 2 momentum to disarm him, too.
No, that was 2... That was 2 crits that were in there.
Whoa.
And as it comes through, you see him spin. He catches one of the arrows again, the third, but it skips inside instead of outside. And you see it kind of slip and bounce into his armor. I'd like you to roll the damage for that. And we'll see if you want to add the damage of that massive momentum gain. You're already maxed out, so you've got 2 extra points to add to this. You can't string another attack together, but you can. Yeah.
Just keep. Here we go. And I get my extra 1. So that's 8, and my effect is piercing, plus another combat die. So nothing. So 8 total.
Okay, so with 8, you see him turn and he hits it, and you notice that it cuts into his armor, or it would have where it would have been stopped, the kind of needle edge of your particular brand of arrows slips right through the scale lengths, and you see him as you hit. It doesn't do full damage to him, but it certainly does enough to make him, you start to see a line of blood come out of the shot that's just under his right rib. And he turns, I knew this would be fun. And you notice he has he's wearing a full helm as well as he comes towards you.
Okay, come on, Conan. I'm just trying to move in the opposite direction from him without getting any closer to the fire.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys are able to if you want to back up some, you can. So if you want, I'll move Conan down. I come down here with you. And you guys can make the road if you'd like. Yep. Alrighty, and so...
I actually think I only rolled 3, and with another standard action, I should have had my 2 because of my talent. So I think I have 1 more shot.
Oh, go right ahead then.
Cool. Cool.
I can't keep track of a machine gun going off. It's...
No. Ooh, and bad. Good.
Okay, so we'll just say that with this shot, he's able to kind of get back into his groove, and he knocks it away again. I don't have to spend Doom on that one, as I would have gotten Doom from it, so it just kind of, it washes out. Okay, so as everything comes around, we're going to see the volley of arrows go off again towards Schwa, as both miss. 1 hit, 2, 3 hits as it goes forward. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to make this nice and easy. 10 to 20 hits the horse. 20 to 1 hits Schwa. Or 10 to 1 hits Schwa. Horse. Horse. Schwa. So we're not going to worry about the horse as it dies. And we're going
We're not
to...
going to worry about the dead horse.
And Schwa, you are not hit as the shot goes over, comes towards you, but it does not have any purchase. As Schwa, you are able to free the boy as the boy falls limp kind of at your feet. What is your action this time?
Terrific. All right, I am now going to I'm going to make sure the boy is stable, and then I'm going to free the other 2 hostages.
Okay. So we're going to say with your action to be able to do this, you can absolutely free the other 2 hostages as you're already there. So
Okay, great.
Yeah, no momentum spends or no anything like that. In fact, you got them all free, and as soon as you kind of free the woman, she looks and spins around and sees that her son is hurt. She doesn't scream. She has the bearing of somebody that can keep themselves calm in a situation like this. Perhaps more so. She doesn't have the look of a warrior about her, but she's able to she has a reserve. She picks up her son, and she's standing there as the horse kind of and clambers, kind of takes like 2 or 3 steps and then falls into the high grass to the side. You are exposed now, Schwa, as you see just the dark forest and you know the enemies lurk, but you do have the people free. I will give you movement if you like it.
Excellent. How are we doing what's our momentum pool look like?
Momentum pool currently for you guys, I don't have it on screen, is 4. You guys have 4. Actually, no, you guys are maxed out because Cinna's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Schwa is hit pretty bad, so I'm going to burn 2 of those to take 2 more points, to heal 2 points, right?
Yep.
And for my move action, I'm just going to guard. I'm going to counsel the. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm going to address the mother and say, "Now use the body of this dead horse to protect yourself from the archers. I will guard you here in case anyone attacks." And I'm going to plant myself with my spear, and I'm basically waiting for my companions to take out all of the danger, and I'm going to stand guard here with the spear in case any brigands approach us from a melee perspective.
Fantastic. I love the idea of Schwa the Defender. I love it so much. Okay, so at the recently erected Fort Schwa, which is a couple 100 pounds of horse flesh, Schwa has used his spear to plant his flag, and knowing they are in the middle of a field and realizing that this is in fact a very good idea, the mom kind of throws the kids down into the crook of where the saddle kind of meets the ground and lays on top of them to protect them with herself. As Schwa, you're kind of standing over. Which direction are you facing? Towards the archers, or... you're muted, bud.
Sorry. Can I see anyone other than the archers? Am I aware of their location from here?
I will allow you, yeah, because you haven't done anything. I'll allow you to make an observation check if you'd like, as Schwa's, he's checking out his kingdom from Castle Schwa.
Great, thanks. There you go.
No, you can... It's tough. You notice that there's a huge fire to the side. It's glowing greenish blue. You don't like the looks of that. You don't like the smell of it. It doesn't smell like natural fire. A lot of very kind of an acrid smell coming off of it, as if it's like burning metal. You can't see anything else though through kind of like the pitch smoke of the dry grass. You do realize that the grass is beginning to catch, 20, 30, 40 feet away from you. As this is second moment to moment though, it's not an immediate threat for you guys.
Got it. So Schwa is going to face south, keeping his eye on the fire to make sure the fire doesn't come this way, but watching out for enemies coming to the south, because the archers from the north are, the dead horse is protecting the prisoners.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So, right now the walls are clear at Castle Schwa. As we skip over to Pal, you just saw another volley of arrows go out from the two that are in front of you as you are creeping up within melee behind them. What would you like to do?
So they've already used their attack.
Well, yeah, they've already fired off towards where they were firing, and you see them reaching down, and the Shemites are pulling out like additional kind of long-shafted arrows as you see them. They have no clue where you are as you are walking between the shadows.
Okay, I'm going to come up to the left, not on the other side of the, where the trees are, and if looking at the battle map. And is it possible for me just to grab one and pull him in and like without the other one noticing? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, we're going to say that you would have had a additional die to roll with this. I will have you roll that additional die, but it's going to require 2 successes for you to take this or attack this person without knowledge of his compatriot, who is just a few breaths away from him.
Gotcha. So is that a stealth strike or is that a melee?
It's melee, but give yourself an extra d20 as you are coming out of the shadows.
Gotcha.
You, without sound, as the guy grabs an arrow and gets ready to knock it, you pull him right out of the eyesight of his friend, who doesn't seem to notice at all. With that attack, you can add 1 of those extra momentums to have either another attack or damage to this attack, whatever you'd like to do.
Did I kill this archer right here with that one?
You need to roll damage for it.
Yes, sir. I will say, can I use my Yuseti knife?
Oh, absolutely. I assume as much.
Yes. 9. Oh, I just literally take his head off.
If you wish, you are holding his head, but you cut so deeply into his throat that you even cut it below a point or in such a way that as you cut through the throat, you stop for a moment and kind of move the knife, because it's that wicked curved blade. You move it so not even the windpipe is allowed to give any gurgle, as you just wait a couple seconds as the life goes out of him. And when you kind of pop the cork again with your knife, you hear a but
can I
you were the
startle
only one
with the head? He throws the head over the archer to startle him, like to see he'll look that way so he can advance on the other one.
Okay, so
he takes the head and throws it, just fucking scare the shit out of him.
Okay, let's see. All right, so this guy he sees the head come over and he's like, Kim? And as the head flips over, he immediately fires as if he thinks it's an attack of some kind and somebody just pulled a skeet, and he sinks an arrow that he had just knocked into the head of his friend Kim, presumably. As he nails it, hits it right in the eyes, but he is completely unaware of what's happening as you can attack again and you don't have to have stealth for this one, but you do have an extra d20 as you move into...
Now, can I push him into the fire?
You're too far away from that.
Okay, I was wondering how close he was to the fire. I just knocked him right in there. All right, Pal's going to come up, and he's just going to do the same thing. He's going to, right behind him, sweep in motion, right from the back.
I will tell you this. If you and Ozzy said something great here. If you get 2 successes on this one, I'll allow something with the fire if you want to.
Well, then I'll use momentum.
You have 3. You have 3 d20 going into this.
Okay, well let's do that then.
So just give yourself an extra d20 and roll it like you did last time, and we'll 2 plus back and forth. 2 of those were crits though. One of those was a complication. They offset one another, so that still gives you 3 successes on the entire thing. You are able to come up and take this guy out. Roll damage for me, as anything more than 4 is going to kill him. And as Ozzy said, there is a feat in this called Show Them the Head.
Oh, yeah.
When you show somebody a head, it breaks them mentally, especially if it's the head of someone they know. And as you just showed the head of presumably this guy's buddy, he shies away from the head, Kim, and you come up, slice his throat, and
Give
Sparta
him a
kick
slap
him.
on the ass too. Boom.
Yeah, Sparta kick him into the flames, and as he's stumbling away, he gets a farewell slap on the ass. As you
Go
see this
fuck
guy,
yourself.
as soon as he hits the line of fire, his entire body erupts into this bluish green flame. And he is gone, and it is clear. You notice that the other 4 archers, let's see if they... you see one of the archers turn and looks in the direction, but you see him kind of squint as he's unsure of what he's looking at. He does not see you. You see him kind of looking for his friends.
Can I go back into the shadows and advance on them?
I
know that my turn's over, but I mean, he's
Yep.
going to try to get back in.
Yep, you roll me a stealth as we go over to Arik and Artigan. Guys, you are engaged. Arik, you are at distance with the bow. We got one mounted person, and we have got one unmounted person. What would you like to do, Arik, as there are 4 behind you as well that seem to be stirring? And I'll give you this one for free. They are not and have not noticed the 2 of you, despite the attack. They are charging out towards Castle Schwa. So if you look at the map, this group is riding out towards Schwa.
So, and then Artigan, the last time I saw Artigan, he like knocked one of them off his horse with a great big hit, and then the other horse was wounded. I think Arik's gonna ride out after those riders and try to come up behind them if it can, and he'd like to start using either his whip or his net and taking riders off their mounts and just like dragging them behind his horse if he can.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so you're going to ride out. What would you like, the whip or the net? The net has the chance of getting more than